opening statement?
Sure. Obviously, I thought a phenomenal environment. I mean, they do it right here in terms of the crowd, and against a really good team. But I thought, obviously, super impressed with my own team, how they withstood. First half that was a little rocky. McGee has to hit the showers early and have other guys unite even more, and guys like Janicki step up and make tremendous plays in the second half. Just couldn't be happier for our guys, because obviously I have great respect for Purdue and for Matt. I think programs are very similar in terms of how we do things the right way, and there are always battles. And obviously coming in here to be able to play like we did, it's just a credit to our players and our assistant coaches who had them ready. And we made shots when we needed to. We were able to withstand a little bit of a run at times, and then finish it out. So then I'll take questions.
Nick?
Greg, you've talked time and time again about this team, how it's just team first, unselfishness. McGee out early, like you mentioned, Blackwell in foul trouble. Just what can you say about the collective response from this group, and just how proud of you are the guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're just extremely confident. They know collectively they're a really good team, and obviously we got major star power too, and some guys, but just how they rallied together. I think actually McGee getting the ejection actually threw more gas on our fire, and really united us. And I probably talked less in these huddles today than I have all years, because they were so engaged and so instrumental and instructive with what they wanted to do and what they felt was working, and both ends of the floor. So, like I said, just really happy for them, and because they bonded together. In this day and age, as you've heard me talk about, is always, from a coach's standpoint, is always a question mark of how, in the transient nature of college athletics and rosters, but this group has committed to each other and committed to being the best team they can be.
Greg, right here. I watched you against UCLA and a few other people. This team has a lot of poise, and basically at the end of the shot clock, those guys keep running plays and are consistent with that. How much do you have to drain into them, and how much do they collectively do it themselves?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of, obviously you help them along, but you get into those situations, like we had 2 or 3 back cuts late in the clock. That's just them playing, and that's a product of, obviously A, really good players, B, a really good system that players love playing in from an offensive standpoint, and then you have to have that unselfishness and that connectivity that when I looked up shot clocks in single digits, or even a couple times it was at 2 when Blackwell got loose and Tanjay got loose on a back cut. That's just guys making reads and playing and being unselfish for each other.
What'd you learn about Jack coming in and performing the way he did?
Boy, as a freshman, he comes in and does. It's the first time ever here and on the court. I thought he responded in a way and had production and impacted the game, and what we've seen him do in practice, it just hasn't come out because he hasn't been in that situation. But like I said, when Cam had to leave, we were and he played point a lot and handled pressure. I mean, we played the whole second half, no turnovers. 18 assists, 3 turnovers. In this place, I've been here when it's been the other way around, 3 and 18. And that's just till it shows you the poise, the togetherness, the toughness of this group mentally, that they feel nothing's going to faze them.
Greg, you talked about how the McGee injection threw some gas in the fire. It seems like your guys started to attack the paint more after kind of settling maybe a little bit for open threes.
Mm-hmm.
Was that talked about in the huddle with your players, and how'd you like their poise of taking it to Purdue?
Yeah, I think that's, one, that's a product of the accumulation effect of a game, right? You learn how a team's, and you get a feel for how a team's defending you, where they're bringing help from. They obviously double the post from the baseline and rotate from the baseline hard on dribble penetration, but it was talked about that we needed to attack, but I think it also was a byproduct of the process of, the wearing and the constant push we come with, that eventually some cracks will start to open up, and then you got to get there and make plays and finish or get fouled. And obviously Klesman did that well, Tanjay did that well, Blackwell did that well. So it was, just again, probably the process of over 40 minutes, getting the feel of where it is, and then it has an effect on the defense as we keep coming in waves and keep coming at you every possession. Those things add up.
Did you get what explanation did the officials give you in terms of what they saw in terms of the flagrant 2 on Kamari?
So long ago, I can't remember what he told me. They had no choice when there's and I haven't seen the video. I didn't look at it at halftime. I didn't even look at the board or anything. I was having more conversations about what had happened the previous possession on the other end when I felt our guys were like bowling pins, falling down and getting knocked around. But other than, it's within the rules, and this is a really hard game for any crew. That's why we had a really strong crew in this game. This is, you imagine that, it's a hard job to do, and but I felt when they gave me the explanation, that's the letter of the law. It's not up for debate, so we needed to move on and keep playing. That was the biggest thing. We had a lot of basketball left to play. We didn't need to dwell on that. So, next guy rally up and let's go.
Just the success you guys have managed against Purdue the last few years where a lot of other programs haven't. I know there's probably no secret sauce, but is there any common threads? Is there anything that you can ascribe it to?
No, I mean they've won some, we've won some. Matt's done a phenomenal job here. He's a Hall of Famer when the time is done, the time is right. His transformation or transition from Katie to his career, I leaned on him a lot when I took over for Coach Ryan, just because it's not easy filling big. He had big shoes to fill. He's made those shoes bigger. He stretched those shoes, and just a great respect for this program because he does it the right way. And I think there's a lot of commonalities, a lot of similarities. Why Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan State, year in and year out, or typically we'll have a bump here or there, but by and large we're going to be pretty good. And it's the consistency and the continuity and knowing exactly who you are, who you're not, and what works at your school. And Matt does a phenomenal job at that, and I think we do a really good job too.
Not that this means a lot on February 15th, but while the game was going on, they came out with the tournament reveal. How's the 11th overall seed and 3rd seed in the regional strike you?
We got a lot of basketball left to play before that day comes, so that's great. That means we got the attention of people, right? And obviously playing good basketball. We're a really good team, and I think we're getting better. And that's the exciting part, that they know there's a lot more left to come, and it starts with our next game.
Last time you guys weren't here, Johnny kind of carried you a little bit, 37. John Conjay, for him to do what he did, is it time for him to be discussed with that type of player and that type of?
Well, hopefully he already is. I mean, I think that's, if you're going to have, a really good team, you're going to have one of those guys, right? Or maybe 2 of those guys that can do that. Kaufman-Wren got 30 tonight too, I believe, or today. They've had other guys, obviously Edie. We've had guys that if you're going to be at an elite level, you're going to have a guy that can really carry the water. Doesn't have to do it every night, but when they get going, they're really good.
That will be our last question.
Greg, you guys switched a lot of different players on Smith. It seemed like he got, I don't want to say rattled, but I think the different viewpoints maybe changed how his shot went. Can you talk about defensively what you guys did on him and the ultimate result?
Yeah, I mean, he's a terrific player. Obviously, he had 12 assists, 1 turnover, I believe. But we just, try to keep rotating guys on him. Felt the bigs and the ball screen was important too, because he gets in and he plays that 2-man game with Wren, and it's really hard to cover when they get deeper into the underneath the 3-point line. So, and we had different guys. Obviously, on him, we had different guys involved with the ball screen as far as our 4s and 5s, and actually did a little changing at times. Put Gilmore at the 5, and I think Steve was playing the 4 defensively, and just you got to throw different looks at times. Had players like that, and then like I said, over 40 minutes, you got to play the percentages of what you feel, how you base your defense, how you build your defense, and our guys did a really good job of following the plan.
Thank you,
All
guys.
good?
Thank you. Thank you.